Talk about my buddy Alan over at Allied today. Y'all give them a call. Call Allied. They do all your flooring. I mean, you got mold, you got cracked bricks, you're uneven, your foundation. Call them. Alan will take care of it. 221-4608. They do business all over North Alabama and do an excellent job of it too. So give them a call and they'll come out and give you a free estimate. Then they'll let you know exactly what they're going to do for you, and then they will take care of it out of Decatur. So give them a call, 221-4608. All right, Dee, I know one of your girls got married over the weekend.
We survived. Yep, sure did. Savannah, our oldest, guy she'd been dating for a long time, got married, and it was great. At Calvary Baptist, right across from the stadium in Tuscaloosa, was their church in college, and that's where they wanted to get married. So we
got some photos of that. We'll go back to them a little bit later on this morning, too. So everything went smooth, huh?
Yeah, it did from our perspective. But then we found out some folks were bringing some things from here, some flowers and things. We're supposed to be bringing them to Tuscaloosa for us, and didn't work out so well. Miss Joan Simmons, yeah, that's the confetti coming out of the church. Timing was great. I can't wait to see the real photographers' shots to see what's happened. Just the groomsmen and the bridal party.
No fights, no brawls.
No, none at all. There's like one of the happiest days of my life doing daddy-daughter dance, and I can't dance at all, but I didn't care. She had chosen the song, What a Wonderful Life, Louis Armstrong's version of it, and it was great. I thought that would be the most emotional time. It wasn't. It was when some friends of ours' car, it's a '69 Mustang.
Oh, right. Joseph be happy.
Yes.
And drove them from the church over to the reception area, which was just across the river in Northport, and just had a great time. Good kids.
Get back in a second talking about some weddings here, but what else are we talking about today?
I used to be chaplain for a high school team in Tuscaloosa, and so I did chapel all the time, and I've done it for some college teams as well. So I was going to pull out an old chapel talk that I used to do called False Indicators of Manhood.
False indicators?
False indicators of manhood. Some ways that guys think it means to be a man, but it's really not. And I stole this one from a guy named Joe Ehrman, who played for the Colts for a long time, and now he is a volunteer coach in Baltimore. And he narrowed it down to 3 simple words. He said there's 3 false indicators of manhood are the ball field, the bedroom, and the billfold.
Oh.
Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Well, you know, and it also works all the way through the age. So the ball field one was always a good one when I was doing football teams, because when they were either the high school or the college guys, you know, that was just everything to them.
Being on the ball field?
Right, you know, how good they were or whatever was the situation, but then I reminded them one of these days they're going to get old and fat like me and not be able to play anymore. And if everything that you think about yourself of being a man is tied up into your ability on the ball field, what do you do when you can't play anymore?
You're depressed.
Yeah, exactly. No matter what your thing is, and if that's everything, then you're like, well, what do I do now?
It's
because
like
everybody has to stop playing at some point.
All these guys that are older and they're playing softball still, and they get hurt every time, and it's like,
but
really?
they enjoy it, and it keeps them in shape. Yeah.
Yes.
I used to play basketball a lot back with my 2 brothers when I was in my 30s, early 40s. But when I'd get through playing, both of my knees would be about that big around. I'd have to sit on the couch with ice for like all afternoon.
And know it was going to happen, but keep doing it.
And then play again next weekend.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then my wife finally told me, she said, you know, you need to understand something. You don't bounce anymore when you hit the ground. You know,
I'm still recuperating from falling off the porch last week with moving. It's bad. I'd try to sit in those seats down at the Georgia Dome and be hitting that old hip with that bruise about that big.
I thought you were going to say you're still recuperating from walking around the Georgia Dome.
No, I'm fine down there. All right, what's next?
So that was the ball field. The next one was the bedroom. It's trying to figure.
I already don't want to hear this one.
You're already in enough trouble today. I'm trying to keep you out of trouble, Jamie. I'm trying to help you out, buddy. They think that that's what it means to be a man. And then no matter how much it happens to them outside of the context of marriage, eventually they go, well, this is not how it's supposed to be. You know, it's supposed to be more than that, because everybody has within them, in my view, a God-ordained sense of how it's supposed to be, right? And when you don't do it in that context, eventually you go, well, something's not right, because it's not having sex. I just want
to see if you're going to say it.
You're shocked he did.
You think
I got to remind you.
You and I have got to have a talk off the air, Jamie. We really do, buddy.
Yeah, I want to go back to the story. I may have told you this before, but I'm going to share it, and Tom's heard it before, and Frank.
You sharing stories
No, wait a
this
minute.
morning scares
Go ahead.
You said
Share
having
a story.
sex on television.
I did. You didn't tell me I couldn't say it.
No, it's
and I've
okay.
heard
I'm
you
getting
say
to a
worse.
point to where I was,
Yeah.
I was,
okay.
we've gotten over, just got about the time Brad was working, was next door, working for Bill Donovan.
We just
both-
moved
Yeah.
to Athens.
And your wife used to work, and you know Bill real well.
Yeah.
We hadn't been on the air
2 weeks?
2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
6 Live. I got a message at the end of the show. Bill wants to see you in his office. Well, it's like,
Going to the principal's
going
office.
to the principal's office. You know, Bill, he ain't known for his
Straight-laced.
personality, just his money. So I go up there and we're
big
sitting
heart.
there. I say, yeah, Bill, what is it, you know? I do not, this is when he owned the station. Y'all know how popular it was back then.
Stop.
He said, I don't want you saying sex on my airways.
Sex, S-E-X. That word.
Sex? He said, I said, what do you want me to say? He said, I want you to say something like eating crackers. I said, eating crackers? So,
What was that, a country song he was trying to come up with?
He said, I don't know.
so I
call it
come
something
back on the
else.
show the next day and I said, I can't mention sex no more on here, so from now on, every time we talk about it, I'm going to say, I was eating crackers last night. You know, I get crumbled all in the bed. But that's a true story, and you know in Bill, you know what he's talking about.
I do. I've heard some of the conversations
just
he's had with
opened the door for
DJs.
that.
Well, Jamie, I figured out my role on this show, and that is to throw the softball
Set
to
me
you. So,
up.
that's my job. I've become the setup man to the
pretty
straight
much how it
man.
works.
I've become Andy to your Barney. Is how I've looked at it.
You become Johnny Carson, and you're more like
Is that what it is, Ed McMahon?
What? Okay, did you ever explain number 2?
No,
Yeah.
you didn't.
Sorry, Tom,
That's
no
the sex.
offense.
Yeah.
Meaning that
What's
it has
Go
to
ahead.
be,
Within the context of marriage, for it to be what it's supposed to be, for the guys to feel what they're supposed to feel. And eventually, even they get tired of it outside the context of marriage because they go, well, is this all there is?
Well, thanks
Because
to
they don't-
modern technology now and some drugs, you can go forever and ever.
that wasn't the point he was trying
I'm just
to
throwing
make.
that out in case y'all didn't know.
It had nothing
Softballs.
to do with that.
I mean, I'm throwing
What's
softballs.
number 3?
Billfold.
I don't care a billfold. Haven't carried a billfold in 30 years.
Have you not? What do you do with your money? Front pocket?
I don't got no money.
But you know how guys do when they get in their 30s and 40s, it's all about how much money you've got. Who's got the most money? Who's got the biggest house? That's how we keep score. Until you figure out there's somebody who's always got more money than you do.
Yep.
Unless you're Bill
I ain't
Gates
never
or
been
Warren
like that,
Buffett.
'cause I just had a lot of good credit.
You know, if it works, I mean, you put it out there, right?
You carry a wallet?
No, I carry a money clip in the front
Oh, so
pocket.
you have money.
Very
money
little.
clip.
I just had a wedding. Do you not remember the pictures that we just looked at? I had a wedding. I'm about to start a
more
telethon
money.
here. That's what I want to talk to you after the show
I'm all in on
about
that.
buying
the billfold.
Yeah, just by keeping up, you try to figure out how much of a man you are by how much money you got.
I got to go back talking billfold. My old buddy Keith Davis had passed away, 6 months ago. Keith used to get his wallet out. He would, y'all ever see him open his wallet?
It's like an
He would open this
encyclopedia.
wallet, and it was like 2 Bibles kind of put together. It was that big. He had every receipt,
Every business card.
every business card he had ever. I mean, it was just. I don't know how he got it in his pants.
Like the George Costanza wallet
yeah,
from
just like,
Seinfeld.
exactly. When he opened his wallet up, and all that.
He has to sit like this. It kind
Yeah.
of keeps him kicked over.
Maybe that's why he sat like
That was, but he had
Kinda
everything.
knocked him over like that.
Well, stuff you never going to use.
He was just a pack rat, like to keep
Yes,
up with it.
Yes. Papers.
Yeah, the George Costanza thing was
Yeah,
good.
it's cute.
Yeah.
So, the wallet.
Yeah, so I always, that was a talk I would do to these 16, 17, 18-year-old guys, and you always wonder, is anybody listening? Well, I was at a car wash when we were still living in Tuscaloosa, in line, waiting to put my money in. This kid comes over and is looking at me, and I'm thinking, all right, we're going to see what's going to happen. He said, I think I know you.
Give me your wallet.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was wondering in some parts. And he said, are you the guy that used to come talk to Hillcrest football team? I said, yeah, that's
Give me
me.
your wallet.
Yeah. He said, I still remember the ball field, the bedroom, and the billfold. He said, I never have forgotten that. And you always wonder
So
if
give me
anybody's
yours.
listening. Yeah, well, thankfully he didn't say that because he knew I didn't have any money because he knew who I was. But it was just fun to see, and I would usually do, these talks would be like 10 minutes. And it's always fun to see that somebody's actually listening.
All right, I'm going to go back to your wedding.
Oh, okay.
Y'all's wedding, and Brad showed another picture to show how good and nice and everybody cooperated.
Pretty.
Yes.
No
brawls.
That's just beautiful.
No fight.
No brawls.
That's just beautiful. Well, all weddings don't go that way.
True.
A Pennsylvania wedding, the bride gets married, then she watches her new husband, his brother, a state trooper, and a local councilman all get arrested. Here's what happened. Says here, the groom got so drunk, there was a 19-year-old pregnant waitress on this little cruise they were taking. He kept trying to pour drinks on her and get her to do shots with him.
And
then he got handsy. This is after the wedding. This is a reception on this little boat. You know.
Wow.
Well, then she calls her boyfriend over, who confronts the man. A fight breaks out.
She calls her, the
waitress calls her boyfriend over there. Okay.
The guy got handsy with her while he was drunk, real drunk. Oh, I've got the audio on.
Yeah, I mean, we could just...
The woman got uncomfortable, called her boyfriend. They arrived at 1 a.m. He confronted the guy. They started to trade punches, all the while the bride looked on in disbelief. Then the brother, a state trooper, gets into the fight. And then the 31-year-old member of the school board was also there. He gets into a fight. They're all three arrested on the night of the wedding.
Annulment.
So it was just a brawl in the middle of the reception.
And blood everywhere because the school board member got so drunk he punched a police car window out.
Smart.
That's that wedding. And then just when you think you couldn't find any more, here's one here, a groomsman now. Let me see what state this is. And that was in Pennsylvania. This happened over the weekend. This dude here was a groomsman. All right here, he's Saturday, this one happened. He became in there, Ohio wedding. Well, while everybody's drinking, have a good time, he goes and steals 55 gift cards with $6,500 worth of cash in it. How'd that go, Frank?
Not too good.
And then he's in the wedding, or was in the wedding, this is at the reception. He went to the party, then celebrated with the bride and groom who he had just stolen from.
Did he at least buy him around with the money he
The
stole
items
from?
were found in his tuxedo bag. Yeah, here's a shot of him. Yeah, he's a real pretty one right there.
Yeah. You just
See, some weddings can go bad.
they can.
You know, alcohol can cause many things. And it doesn't say if this guy was drunk or not.
You would hope.
I would think.
He was just trying to add to his billfold.
Well, he was, because he was trying to look better than the groom, and he said, here's a way I can jump ahead of the groom and show how much money I have, because I'm going to steal the money and then go back into the reception and say, well, I'm paying for the whole reception and throw the money out there. So that's how you should have done it.
What'd you say, Brad? Yeah.
Buy drugs too, yeah.
Anyway, I just want to show you some weddings don't go as planned.
Yeah.
Now, in one of mine,
One of.
my best man was at a Baptist church in Boaz.
Was this
How'd
the
that go, Frank?
photographer?
Not too good.
He was so drunk, he had, when he got ready to give me the ring, had it on his tongue.
Nice.
And he was a lawyer.
Nice.
Just say it.
Don't say his name.
He's dead.
Well, don't matter.
You know,
Choked.
see, those are the kind of stories, I've written a book, and I tell you I'm writing a couple other books. Well, I actually have one final book that when I get kind of much older, I'm going to write, and it's stories of things that happened while I was either doing a wedding or a funeral.
Oh, a funeral?
Yeah, I have had some things happen at a funeral that you would not believe, and I have seen things.
Good or bad?
Depends on your point of view. I thought it was funny. The other people involved probably didn't think it was too funny, but I did. So I'm going to write a story about all this stuff that happens in churches that nobody would believe.
I can't believe it now. All right, going to take a break for the day. Going to get out here tomorrow. It's football. And then on Friday, Joseph's bringing a 69 prize Chevelle up here. Ooh, what are you going to want for that?
Black with white stripe.
Have your checkbook ready.
Nice.
Y'all have a great day. We're out of here. See ya.
Bye.